Hello, my name is Jenna Jarvis and we are back with the Vulnerability is Cool podcast. So much is going on. I was on the show, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I am going to tell the whole story and just all of my thoughts on the whole situation. I am currently still in Bali, and if you listen to the last episode, it was all about letting go. My grandpa did end up passing away, which I feel like I've just numbed myself with a little bit and then had just huge breakdowns here and there. So still trying to process that. The funeral isn't for a couple weeks, so I am waiting to go back. Okay, I don't even know where to begin. Well, I guess I'll start from the beginning. Dakota and I met on the 4th of July. I think it was 2023 or 2022. I'm not sure. Let's see. And there's a photo of us in the same group for the 4th of July. I'll add that onto the YouTube video you can see. Oh, okay. So it was July 2022. We were on a river rafting trip for the 4th of July, and I remember seeing him and I was like, he is so cute. And we were with tons of different friends and everyone knew him and like really liked him. And I was just like, oh, he's so fun. And we were actually in two different like friend groups. And I was like so sad because I was like, oh, I want to be with his friend group because I want to be around him. He was just like so fun and energetic. And I'm a very empathetic person. One day we were like talking as we were getting to know each other more, and everyone was like on the river. And he told me about his past with addiction. He was so funny too. He was like telling me about his past, and I just have so much empathy for him. I had a friend growing up that struggled with addiction. I always just like, my heart was just so big for him because they go through so much, so much. And I think a lot of people think with addiction, it's just something like, oh, they're just crazy. They just love drugs. But it's so much more than that. Like, I watched my friend Brady go through this, and it's just, they're such incredible people that have just been dealt some really hard cards. Anyways, so when I met Dakota and we were talking about all this, I just had so much empathy for him. And I also knew with, seeing different addicts in my life that they might lie and tell you what you want to hear because like that's how they've survived sometimes. But then he was telling me how he goes to like something like AA and like is really just trying to be so honest and all these things. So I was like, okay, so we're hanging out and I really like him and it's like so fun. I was nannying at one point and we were going to the dinosaur museum. So I was like, oh, you should come with us to the dinosaur museum. And he was so fun with like these kids and he was so cool. And we're hanging out. I was still really Mormon at the time. And I'm pretty sure that he was, I think he still is Mormon. I don't know. I was a virgin. And so it was so funny when this whole question of like, did they have sex was coming up? Because I was literally the most Mormon-y virgin girl there ever was. I was 26 and I was still a virgin. Yeah, we're hanging out. He's so fun. I tell my friends about him and he like comes over to our house. We're just both like very energetic, funny, weird people. So I feel like it was just a good match. Then my roommate is like, did you see that Taylor Frankie Paul posted a TikTok with Dakota?
I read it till I'm dead. I know that he watching. Like my ex bitch cause she toxic. Got this new bitch now we toxic. Can't catch up.
I'm like, the fuck? The fuck? I'm like, he was literally sleeping over here last night. Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? So then I asked Dakota about it and I'm like, should I look at exactly what happened? I'm like, do not like a message, do not like a message. And it's so funny because I would never share this many details about any relationship that I'm in, but because this is already on television and it's everywhere and they share everything about their lives, I'm like, okay. Kind of fun. Okay, let's see. I want to find the first time I asked him about Taylor. Also, side note with this, I had dated some people in the past that maybe didn't treat me the best and I chose to date them. That was my fault. And so my confidence wasn't like super high at this point. So when he liked me, it's almost like when I started, especially then when I date people, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh yeah, like they think I'm cute and fun, but like they don't actually like me. And that sounds sad, but it's just, yeah, it's just life. So our first text, we're talking about American Idol, Okay, he was like so flirty too. Oh, I was at a concert last night and I was like, oh, that's so fun. I'm so jealous. He's like, I'm going to take you to one. Like asking about my mental health event that I was about to throw. Okay, so this was one of the first things where I was like, oh, what's going on? My friend was like, Taylor posted a TikTok with Dakota and their friend. And I was just like, oh, like I didn't want to be dramatic. So maybe I didn't actually say anything. But then, oh, okay, here it is. Okay, I sent him an invite. It was like a backyard acoustic night. And he's like, oh, which friend is it like with? And I'm like, her name is whatever. And he's like, maybe I'll chill with you before. Haha, for some reason, I've been around so many people the last few days that I need a little break. Is that bad? And I'm like, you're an extrovert. We're literally the same. Like, I don't believe you. So I just respond, you're good. And then like 5 minutes later, I just go all out. I go, are you dating Taylor? Someone just sent me that TikTok, LOL. And he's like, oh gosh, ha 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 ha. No, she just wanted to start some drama. And she was like, let me blow you up on TikTok. But I don't think I realized how dumb of an idea that was. I wouldn't be trying to see you if that were the case. But I also understand if that's weird now and you're like, screw this guy. And I was like, thanks for being honest. I just saw that. And then you saying you didn't want to be around people made me think you're probably dating her or something. I was like, whoa, my intuition was right there, baby. And he's like, haha, yeah, of course. No, that's not the reason why. I really don't care. I mean, I am single. I can do what I want, but it just makes me feel stupid explaining it now to other people. I just have always wanted to do social media stuff and be able to have a voice. So I figured it was a win-win situation in some ways. LOL. And then he's like, you hate me now, huh? And I'm like, no, of course not. We're not dating, so I'm not trying to be weird or anything, but Def didn't want to step on any toes. And he's like, no, I didn't get that feeling from you at all. I think more than anything, just felt really embarrassed because I think you're like the coolest girl ever and didn't want you to be embarrassed to see me or something. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I'm like, I'm at family dinner right now and I might go to that acoustic night, whatever. And he's like, I know I can be kind of a mess at times in my life, but I promise I truly do love people and care about others a lot. And you are just one of those people I always want to be good to and give you my full respect. And then he's like, I'm going to an AA meeting tomorrow at 7:30. He's like, I've just been having a hard day, so I'm going to go to the meeting tomorrow. And I was like, aw. And like, yeah, that totally got me, of course. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool that you're going. Like, I just respect that so much. Whatever. You better text me after. Anyways, so he didn't come to the night. I don't think we ended up hanging out. And then he's like, do you want to do something tonight? He's like, yeah, let's hang. So we hung out and they came over to my house and I think we watched a movie. So, I don't know if I said this, but I haven't watched the show yet. It kind of gives me a little anxiety to watch it, especially I'm like alone in Bali. So I'd rather watch it with my friends and I don't know. I'm just so weird about this stuff. Like I didn't watch the first season forever either. So I need to watch it. So I don't even remember exactly what I said on the show. So hopefully I'm not like contradicting everything I said, but I don't think so because this is just like the truth. Anyways, so he ended up sleeping over that night. Rebellious Mormons. He's like, I'm so happy I got to be with you. I was about to leave on this trip for Europe. So he's like, I'm sad you're leaving, whatever. Oh, I didn't respond, I guess. And he texted me again at like 1 p.m. Like, I hope you don't hate me for this morning or something. I'm sorry if we went too far. I can be better. We literally didn't do anything, I'm pretty sure, because I was so Molly Mormon. Oh, I just texted him, sorry, I was so embarrassed. I woke up so late, so I didn't want to text you back yet. Oh, I did say I just don't want to go too far and then have things just be physical is my only thing, which I'm sure you feel the same. And he's like, yeah, don't ever feel embarrassed around me, okay? I promise you never need to feel that way. I seriously like you for who you are. Saying everything that I just want to hear, for sure. And he's like, it was finally nice getting you all to myself. And then he's like, I 100% feel the same way. Let's make sure it never gets to that point, okay? And so I'm like, okay, I feel he really respects me. We're super compatible and I was excited about him. But at the same time, I was like getting over a relationship. I knew I was leaving for Europe, so I was like invested and it was like a really fun time for me. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go. I'm not really sure. So we're just chit-chatting, shooting the shit. Okay. This is where I'm like, bro, you fucking love bombed me, okay? He's like, oh, I like have a friend that's struggling, so I'm gonna like go pick him up or whatever. And so I'm like, oh, I'll text him way later, like, how's your friend doing? And he's like, he's doing absolutely amazing. We actually talked all about you and he knows you. And he literally was like, dude, please date her. She seems like the coolest girl I've ever met in my life. So I'm like, oh my God, like he's telling his friends about me. Like he really likes me. Obviously, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what? I'm honored. He's like, yeah, so random. Thought I'd share it with you. And then he's like, can I see you again soon? And he invited me to come hang out with his friends, but I didn't end up going. So we're just texting back and forth. He invited me to hang out. I invited him over again. He came over. Now I'm pretty sure he slept over. Sorry, Dad, to hear all this. I'm like, oh, I just watched all your TikToks. Like, you're so funny. Because before he started dating Taylor, like he was posting a ton on TikTok. Like he was actually had such funny TikToks. And then one night, which Taylor and I figured out, he had slept over at her house that night. He's like, hey, sorry, I forgot to text you back about this last night. And we're talking about this movie that we both really liked. And then, sorry, I'm just going through these texts because I feel like this is the best way to tell the story because then I can like really actually remember everything. Anyways, talking about that movie. Oh, interesting. We're just having small talk and then he said, also, if you ever feel like there's something bothering you with me, I want you to feel like you can always talk to me about it, about anything, okay? Like, don't hesitate. Just wanted to throw that out there. And I'm like, thank you so much. Like, that means so much to me. Oh, Okay, so then I'm like, he texts me and he's like the cutest thing, like, but I'm so glad you're working so hard and chasing your dreams, because I like told him about my event and things that I've been planning, and he's like, you're welcome, Jenna. And then I respond, I'm like, I actually am curious about something. And he's like, haha, I knew there was something bothering you. Ask away. So then I'm like, well, I went to a pool party on Sunday and Taylor was there. I'd seen Taylor one time before. I knew who she was. Duh, I knew who she was. Like, all of Utah knows who she is. Anyways, and I didn't even think she knew who I was. Like, because I don't know. I don't know. I was just like, she doesn't know who I am. It's fine. Anyway, so I go to this pool party. And I'm just going to read you what I said here and then I'll add whatever. I went to a pool party on Sunday and Taylor was there and she was talking and someone asked her how many people were on her roster. And she said 2. And when she left, I was a little suspicious, obviously, because they're like posting TikToks and he says it's just for work or whatever. So I asked someone who the 2 guys were, someone who doesn't know that we're hanging out, and they said your name, which like that actually like broke my heart, which is totally fine. I just understood from you that nothing was going on there. I know we're not dating and you can do what you want. It just seems like you maybe lied a little, or maybe that person was confused, which I knew they were not confused. Okay, I totally get why you would be into her. I actually did. Just Taylor Freaky Paul, obviously hot girl shit, where I'm like so gentle people pleasery. And at this point, I had no boundaries. I'm like, yes, just walk all over me, please. Anyways, so I'm like, it just seems like you maybe lied a little, or maybe that person was confused. I totally get why you would be into her, and I don't care if you're talking to other people. I would honestly never bring this up, but I don't want to keep talking if you're not being honest. But I'm also not accusing you of anything. I'm just explaining where I'm at and what's going on in my head. Which I reread and retyped that message probably 500 times because I was so nervous to send it. Let's see, I sent that at 10:30. He responded at 11. And he said, sorry I was driving. Haha, yes, I saw that you guys were both there. LOL. Also, when I was at this pool party, I'm just like looking at Taylor. She's literally so cool. I'm just Joe Smo, Jenna Jarvis over here. So, okay, the time I came to your house, Taylor was going through like all this crazy stuff, and I was upset at her for posting that video, not telling me. So at that point, I literally didn't even think we were going to be talking anymore. That being said, me and Taylor have talked and we came to the conclusion that she isn't in a good place right now and needs more time to heal. And I'm also coming from some pretty traumatic stuff as well. And on top of that, we would probably be extremely toxic for each other. I do care for her as a person, and I think more than ever she needs good friends in her life. And she also enjoys having that part with me. I'm like, okay. So you're gonna be friends. All right. Also, I have no idea if this text makes sense. I should just tell you over the phone. Which he probably really regrets not telling me over the phone at this point. I also have told Taylor that I am seeing you and interested in you, which I don't think this is true. I'd be so curious. So we aren't dating and we have no plans of dating, just friends as now. But like he didn't tell me like, well, were you guys like hooking up? What was going on here? You're just like, you did date? Like you did like each other? I had no idea. He said, I will tell you anything and everything you want to know. Thank you for asking, and it means a lot. I've told you, Jenna, I'm legit super into you and have been from day one. Just also not sure where you're at with me, so I'm kind of waiting to see where things go with us. And then he's like, I can explain it better in person. I swear I'm not the best writer. And then I didn't respond. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't respond that night I didn't respond all day. He just said like, I feel like you want nothing to do with me now. And then I said, I've just been thinking. I'm going to respond when I'm a little bit more clear-headed. Truly, to be honest, I'm like thinking in my head. Like I said, I was like very insecure. So I'm just like, of course I'm just like the side hoe. And he's like, also like, just tell me what you would need from me. Cause like you telling me things that make you feel safe or better are things I want to know. Cause IDK, I would be willing to do whatever it takes to keep being around you and getting to know you. And I'm like, oh. So I just responded, I'm like, I've had so many thoughts. He's like, I'm scared. And then he texted me again because I didn't respond. And he said, hey, I've been thinking about you lots and just wanted to say I'm so sorry if I caused any problems for you or made you feel not safe or maybe whatever you were experiencing. You are an amazing woman and I'm lucky to know you. I hope you still want to see me sometime, even if it's just as friends. So, wow, my little anxious attachment was hiding here because I waited a whole day to respond. So I said, Dakota, you're awesome. I was really caught off guard when you weren't being fully honest with me. You really downplayed your relationship with Taylor, which made me feel very uneasy. I know you're not ready to date each other now, but if that's a possibility, I don't want to be in the middle of it. I think you're so awesome and so fun, and I really loved hanging out with you. In all honesty, I have a hard time trusting your word. Shit. He's like, I'm sorry. here's the shitty thing though. When I told you that, I was being absolutely transparent about where I was with her. If you would have asked me later, I would have told you the truth. I was not trying to lie, and I'm sorry it came off that way. I totally understand it. I guess I'm a little sad about you now. And then needed like a broken heart. I was really enjoying getting to know you, and now I feel like I screwed everything up. I'm sorry, IDKY. I just feel so dumb. I was never trying to be sketchy with you. I'm almost feeling like a little sense of guilt for sharing this, but I'm also like, it's all on a reality TV show, so it's okay. I don't know. I can always delete it later anyways. So he's like, I'm sorry, IDKY. I just feel so dumb right now. I was never trying to be sketchy with you. I just really loved hanging out with you, but I can give you space, and maybe if you ever want to see me again, I would love nothing more than to spend time with you, Jenna. Still meant everything I've ever said about you, just so you know that. And like another thing that he did was he told me like, oh, I told my family about you and your company and all that you do. So he's just truly saying the perfect things. And I don't think I've ever like fully been love bombed like that before. And just by someone that was empathetic and was cool and funny and like someone that was my type. So it was just a lot, I think, for me to process and just be like, oh, I don't know. So then I'm leaving for Europe. So I'm like, you're totally fine. We can hang out when I get back. And he's like, yeah, I would love that. Maybe if I'm in Paris, we can meet up, because he was also going to Europe. I text him when I'm in Italy. And when I get to Europe and everything, then we just like talked about Europe and different things. And then he's like, I think me and my cousin are coming close to the end of September and going to like Germany, Switzerland, maybe Austria or Denmark. Then I didn't respond. And he's like, maybe I called him or something. I don't know. Cause he's like, Jenna, sorry, I am currently at the gym. How's Europe? And I'm like, you're good. In September, I'm going to be in Switzerland and Amsterdam. And he's like, oh my gosh, what week? Me and my cousin, I think, are going to Europe the second week in September or the third. And then when I was in Germany, this could be so confusing. And if it is, I'm so sorry. And I just sent him my location because I think he posted that he was in Germany. And so I was like, I'm here. He's like, whoa, what the fuck? You're in Germany? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, I can't believe you're here. Anyways, I maybe I was just like saying it to say it. And I didn't really want to meet up with him because I didn't like follow up saying I wanted to meet up with him or anything. And then he asked me when I'm going back to America, and I just never responded. And maybe I responded like Instagram DMs, I'm sure, that we were like talking through that. Then everything started happening with Taylor, and they were posting about the relationship, and it was really dramatic. And I saw, when the domestic violence thing happened, obviously I'm watching everything. So I like kind of dated this guy. So I'm interested to know all the things, and it's in Utah and all this stuff. And so I just texted him in February, and I was like, hope you're doing okay, because I was worried for him, like because of also like the addiction and like breakups are just hard anyways, and like the domestic violence, it just so much was going on. I didn't know, so I really genuinely cared about him. I wasn't trying to stir the pot or anything, so I just texted him and I just said, hope you're doing okay. And at this point, I'm on this crazy trip in Europe. I grew up super Mormon, and when I got to Europe, I realized people just loved me so unconditionally, and I felt like the love that I'd received my whole life was so conditional. And I have pretty intense OCD, so I took everything to the extreme when I was in the church. I think there's a lot of people that are like Mormon or Catholic or these different religions that are like kind of in but kind of out. I was fully 100% in, and so I was very extreme with everything. And when I was in Europe, everything just switched for me. I just realized like I don't believe in the church. Felt like I was just kind of lied to my whole life by people that were told things by other people, so everyone just believes them, when in reality it's like, who made this shit up? No offense, sorry if you're Mormon and you're listening. I'm not, this is just my personal journey. Anyways, so that all happens, and then I get this message on Instagram that's like, hey, I'm a producer of this show, we want you to come on. I feel like I've had like some spam messages before like that, and this account didn't have very many followers, so I was just like, oh, whatever. So I don't respond. And then Demi, I went to high school with Demi. It's kind of crazy. Like, I went to high school to me, and then Michaela, I went to elementary with her husband and was friends with his friends in junior high. Macy spoke at one of my mental health events that I hosted and told her story, which was incredible. Layla, I literally went to Lake Powell with her a week before I went to film on the show, and I had no idea that she knew who I was or knew anything, and we like had so much fun in Lake Powell and became friends. Who else on the show? Jen Affleck, I don't know her. Who else was on the show? Oh, Jessie. I've known her husband, Jordan, for a long time, since high school. He's really cool. I love him. Oh, Demi and her husband, the Ingemans, are like so well known in Utah. They're just like the most beautiful family. So I've known who they were for a long time. Oh, Whitney, I think she went to my high school actually, but I didn't know her. I saw all her dance videos on Instagram and stuff, and I thought she was so funny, but I never knew her. I never talked to her. And then Miranda is really good friends with one of my good friends, Ellie. So anyways, like it's just all been in kind of like I've seen all this and like known who these people are. Anyways, Demi reaches out to me. She's like, Jenna, like the producers from the show, they want to talk to you. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, they want to talk to you about your relationship with Dakota, which I'm like, what? I honestly had no idea that Taylor knew who I was. No idea. Because in my head, I'm like, she's kind of like famous. I'm just Jenna. I did notice Dakota unfollowed me on Instagram, and I thought that was so weird because he followed so many people and so many other girls that I knew that he'd like dated. And I was like, why did he unfollow me? I was like low-key offended. Then I realized like, oh, it's because of Taylor, which I would have had him do the same thing if that was me. So I didn't even know she knew who I was. I didn't know this was such a big situation. I didn't know that he was like really two-timing us. They're like, we want you to come on the show. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm like nervous. I have to like sign these papers and all this stuff. And the producers were so sweet and loving. But then I learned like they're like that with everyone so they can get you on. I'm like, oh, so we're not best friends. I've talked to my family. Everyone's telling me not to go on. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then it was just like, literally, I was just going to be on a phone call with Macy. That's all it was going to be. I already know Macy. So I was just like, whatever, I'll do it. I'm like, am I missing anything here? I don't think so. I actually, here's a little secret, some tea for you. I actually didn't even get on the phone with Macy. It didn't work out. We were going to meet up at a coffee shop, didn't work out. And then I was supposed to call her, didn't work out. So I actually just sent a voice memo saying like, I will tell you everything, which is so funny. Then it's the cliffhanger, which was so crazy. And then I post that TikTok about Dakota, but then everything thinks I'm a homewrecker. I'm like, the fuck? Because they don't know me. So they just hear the story on the show. And of course, that's what they think. I would think the same thing. And mind you, Dakota and I have literally not ever talked ever again, which is actually so crazy, but like for a good reason. So then I have no idea like what he's thinking. I like run into Jordan and Brett at the gym and I'm like so nervous because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And like, it's just awkward. And I'm like, do they hate me? I don't know. I talked to Jordan and he's just like, oh, it's just like so much drama, like, all these things. And he was like so nice to me, but he's like, do not trust anyone on the show. And I was like, oh shit, so I shouldn't trust you? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, shit. So then I was like trying to protect my peace way more. I also signed an NDA, so I couldn't even say that I was on the show or anything. So I'm yapping. What's next? So then they're like, okay, we want you on season 2, obviously, because it was the cliffhanger, the phone call. They're like, we want you to meet up with Taylor. So I'm like, okay. So we were going to meet up in a coffee shop, but the show became literally the #1 show on Hulu and it was so popular and Taylor's like literally famous now. So we couldn't just do that. We couldn't casually meet up in a coffee shop. So then they're like, we're going to meet at Macy's house and Macy's going to be the mediator. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, she going to try to fight me? I'd never talked to her before, so I didn't know. Which low-key, Taylor and I are like pretty similar, I feel like. I feel like we're pretty just like don't give a fuck. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the video that I recorded when I was going to record for the show, but like I literally bought my outfit a couple hours before. I was wearing slippers into Zara. I didn't know where my brush was. So my hair was just everywhere. I'm just like very go with the flow type B person, and I can be type A when I really want to be, I guess. I was so nervous. Also, I was in a pretty rocky relationship at the time that I was going to go film for the 2nd season. So I was like not eating and I was taking Adderall and I was just not in the best headspace when I went on the show. Yeah, I was just nervous. So my friends were hyping me up, helping me. I'm like calling, I have this friend Sarah, she was on a reality TV show. So I'm just like talking to her about it. I'm calling Demi, asking her for like her opinion. And also, like, I asked Demi to come on my podcast to talk about her ketamine experience, which like, she totally would because we're friends. And I'm like, she's so passionate about all that stuff. But she was like weird about it. And I was like, what the heck? And then when I talked to her one time, I was like, yeah, I didn't even know Taylor knew who I was. She's like, Jenna, I haven't had a conversation with Taylor in the past 2 years where she hasn't brought up your name. I was like, what? I literally had no idea. And then it all clicked. I'm like, okay, obviously that's why she wouldn't come on to talk about ketamine with me because I'm the enemy right now. But I had no idea. What is next here? I like go shopping with my friends, get a new outfit, get ready for the show, and I was just super nervous talking to friends about reality TV, what I should do, and everyone's like, don't give them anything that they could twist on you. So I'm really trying to be so focused and like just take deep breaths as I'm going over there. Friends styled me, whatever. We go to Macy's house, and I did feel a little bit awkward because just some little tea here, okay? Like Macy came and spoke at my event and I had been to her house. We had like some really deep conversations. She never like followed me back on Instagram, which was totally fine. But then like even when all this stuff was coming out, like, I feel like I got the impression of like kind of like she doesn't know me. But I'm like, we were so deep together, you know? Like she came and had this really vulnerable presentation or whatever at my event and we talked so many times. So I was just kind of like, huh. So then we're meeting up at her house and I just felt weird that there was like a mediator, you know? Like, because then it made me feel like it was like them against me in a sense. And I just did not know what to expect at all. And I knew Taylor was really mad about the situation. Obviously, I would be too. So I just, no idea what to expect. I'm literally walking up to the door and I'm like shaking. I knocked on the door and then the producers were like, can you knock again? So I knock again, but then I was nervous that they were going to think that I was like, let me in. Anyways, I go in, I sit down and we start talking. And then Taylor's just, as you could see in the show, Taylor's just telling me like, oh, he literally lied about everything. Like, he made it sound like you were begging to hang out with him, which actually is so funny because it wasn't that way at all. Because like I'd said before, I was so insecure that I was like, he doesn't really like me. He was saying all these things, but I was like, oh, I don't really know if he like actually cares, because I wasn't begging, because I was like, I don't really even trust that he wants to see me, in a sense, which is so sad, low-key, but it's fine. So yeah, she's telling me all this. And one thing, I don't know if they show this in the show because I didn't watch it, but once I told everything, Taylor's sobbing. And Macy's like, it's okay, everything's okay. And I hated that she said that. And literally no hate towards her. This is just my raw thoughts in the moment. I was like, I hated that she said that because like it wasn't okay. You just had a baby with this man and now you're finding out that he completely lied to you about this situation and that he was like low-key kind of cheating on you, especially maybe even emotionally. I don't know. There was a point when she was like, you can have him. And I was like, oh, like I don't want him. I was like, oh. And also because I took the Adderall, I think I'm just like sitting there, from what I've heard, from what my friends have told me, I'm just sitting there where she's sobbing. And if I didn't take the Adderall, I would have been crying because I'm such an emotional girl. But I think I was feeling so much in that moment. But I also like have this microphone strapped to me and I feel like kind of weird. So I don't feel like I was fooling myself, obviously. Then I left and Taylor and I start talking and she just really wants all the details. This date and this date. Is this match up? Does this match up? And I'm like, I don't know. So I'm like searching my phone, trying to find the exact things. I screen record our entire messages and I send it to her so she can like really investigate this. I go through my photos and just try to find any evidence I have for her to like prove the dates. And almost in my head, I don't think I've talked to Taylor about this. I would be curious to know her thoughts. But in my head, it almost seemed like maybe I don't know. This is just a random Jenna thought, okay? But maybe they knew they weren't supposed to be together. Like, it wasn't the right match, and so I felt like I think what he did was horrible, okay? But I think even on top of that, it was like she almost wanted a reason to make it not right. Because I think you can work through anything, but at the same time, I don't think that your soulmate is someone that's going to be lying to you. I don't know. We need to hear Taylor's thoughts on this. Because it just felt like she was digging and digging. She's like, are you sure you guys didn't have sex? Are you sure? I'm like, yes. I'm like 100% sure. And she's like, well, did he kiss you good morning? I don't remember if he kissed me good morning. Like I don't remember these little tiny details. But also I think she was in a panic mode. Also postpartum. So like, I don't know how much postpartum she was, like how long it'd been, but anyways, I think that situation was really interesting for me. It was right before I fully left the church, which is so funny because I'm on the show Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which when people have found that out, they're like, I thought you were a Mormon. I'm not Mormon, but I'm on this show. And then there's like all this drama. I don't ever watch reality TV shows. I've never liked it. I'm more of like a This Is Us kind of girl, or like I loved Breaking Bad. Yeah, I don't know. I've never liked reality TV. But I love watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, obviously. It's such a shitty situation, but I'm really grateful I got to talk to Taylor and understand her. And she really is such a beautiful human. I don't even understand her brain at all. The way that she's just like so suspicious and mysterious and sneaky and like so still go with the flow, chill, badass bitch. Like, we have something to learn from her, okay? And it's been exciting to see her post about like her healing journey and all the things that she's doing.
Okay, as your girl has been editing this podcast episode, I'm just having so many thoughts. First being like, this is such a shitty situation, and I already knew that, but even re-listening to myself read these text messages, I'm like, fuck him. This is so manipulative to Taylor especially, and also to me. My little heart aches a little bit for my younger self of like believing that he cared. And also when he would apologize, I feel like he would apologize to make himself the victim. So then I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, no, you're totally fine. Like, you're so nice. And he would say, I wanted to be honest with you, but then things like this changed. Well, like, if you were going to be honest with me, then you should tell me if something changed, like his relationship with Taylor. And different things, like, just looking back, I'm like, ugh. And I hate the fact that, of course, to me, he's like, yeah, we don't have to be super physical, because he was literally having sex with Taylor. I'm like, bro. And I saw the scene, like, with her family in Dakota, and I absolutely hated it. And no matter if you're having sex with someone after hanging out with them a couple times, it's still not justified to be treated like this, in my personal opinion. The rage that I just feel right now in my body towards this situation after editing and looking over everything again and again and again. I'm just like, I have so many things that I could say, and I hate relationships like this. I hate when men take advantage of women, and yeah, I know there's two sides to every story for sure, but like, as you can see from these text messages and these interactions, like, he was in the wrong and he really did some things that were pretty awful. Currently 2 a.m. in Bali, so I am gonna stop recording this so I can upload it. But I've seen a lot of people on TikTok be like, Jenna had no emotion, she didn't even care about Taylor, she was smiling the whole time, which I'm also doing in this episode, but that is truly my coping mechanism since I was a little kid. And I was on Adderall, and I was not in a good headspace or in a good relationship. There was so many factors that went into that. Since this all, I feel like I have, obviously this was like over 2 years ago, I've evolved so much as a human, and yeah, I've just learned so much. And even that situation, like, I feel like really taught me to trust my intuition, because like, I knew, like, something in me knew that it wasn't right, that I was kind of being played in a sense, something was off. Yeah, like, I just truly am realizing, like, I don't have time to be treated like that. I don't have time to just like sit and wait around for people. And I think I actually handled that situation with him so well. Like, I'm really proud of myself, and I'm really grateful that I was such a girl's girl in the whole situation with Taylor. Like, even in the text messages to him, I was just like, understand why you date her. Like, she's so sick. It just all really ties in, because like, this is everything that I'm about. I have the deepest desire to help people come home to themselves, and I've been through some really shitty stuff, sexual abuse, emotional abuse growing up, and things that have just like definitely taken me to the depths of my despair in narcissistic relationships that led to me, you know, not wanting to be here anymore. And I've just really, really been through it. I want everyone to feel so loved and feel like they're important. That is my greatest desire. That's why I have this podcast. That's why we're here. And my company, Vulnerability School, is really just for anyone that wants to be real and wants to just stop being in these relationships that don't fill you up, that wants to come home to themselves. And I just launched my new online community, Vulnerability School Community. We're going to do a 21-day reset that's going to start soon, and I'm super excited. There's going to be a meditation for you to do every day, shadow work prompts, a community of women that have your back. We're all going to be in it together. I've run a couple of these online programs, and they've been incredible every single time, because you get to show up as whoever you want to be, not who everybody else wants you to be, but who you want to be. It's a place where you can join and connect and cry and be weird if you want to be weird, and have boundaries if you want to have boundaries. I try to express to everyone that joins anything that I'm doing that my goal is not to change you. My goal is to help you realign with your true, most authentic self and really just come home to you. The realignment too comes from growing up in the Mormon church, where I really truly feel like I was taught to not follow my own intuition. You know, the famous quote, doubt your doubts before you doubt your faith. So essentially, doubt your intuition before you doubt the church. That's actually crazy. That's crazy. And I used to preach that. Doubt your doubts before you doubt your faith. And now I preach the exact opposite, because that's, I think, the most important work that we will ever do on this earth. Check out the link below and come join. I always ask this question on my podcast, but if I could have everyone understand one thing, what would it be? I think my thing today would be that you are worthy. Gosh, I'm always emotional. You are worthy, and you are worth it. You are everything that you need to be. The perfect, most aligned version of you, you already are that. You just need to let her out, or let him out. You deserve to believe that about yourself, and to really come home to this beautiful, incredible version of you. You might just be here for the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, but I hope that you can stay and come a little bit closer to who you really are, and realign with your true and authentic self. Come to a retreat in the future, or a workshop, or even just keep listening to the podcast. I'd love to have you here. You are safe here, and you are loved here, and you are worthy here, and you are everything that you need to be here. I feel like I'm giving a talk in church. 26 years in the Mormon faith prepared me for this podcast, all right? Those are my thoughts today. I'm trying to think of anything else. Maybe I'll do like a question box and do like a Q&A for after. I love you all, and I hope that you know that you are so important and you are worth it. You are so worthy of the love that you seek. In the name of vulnerability, amen.